Hi there, welcome back to my channel. I hope you don't hear my dryer. I wanted to hurry up and do this video and put it on my Adobe Premiere Pro and edit it, and I'm like, I have to wait an hour, then I probably wouldn't finish it. So I want to talk about, if you see me smiling randomly, it's because it's orbs. They keep flying in my face to get my attention. And I also want to add before I forget, I was talking to Giuseppe today and was reminded of a memory that I have, and it happened this morning also, that when I brush my hair, orbs just fly out of my hair. And in the beginning, when I started seeing orbs, I noticed it, but I thought, oh my gosh, I have a lot of hair breaking off. But this morning and the other day, I stopped and I watched them, and they weren't broken hairs, they were orbs. They are evidently nestling in my hair. I guess, I don't know. I don't understand it. But yeah, they're making themselves known already. I wish you could see all of them because, I mean, they're so tiny and some of them are really clear. And with the light on, you can see the outer ring because it's lit up. But anyway, I want to say it was a dream, but it wasn't a dream because it felt very real. It was lucid. Yeah, lucid. It was very lucid. I almost said vivid, but it was that too. So I'll start off by saying that the first images that I seen was odd. There goes an orb. It was very odd. And I don't know why I'm talking so loud. Oh my gosh. I am sorry. It's a bad habit. So the first images that I got was, I was talking to somebody, don't know who it was, didn't see a person or anything, and I'm going to say this before I forget, then I'll continue. When I edit my videos on Adobe Premiere Pro, it would take a long time for me to type in orb. So from this day forward, and there's going to be some times I do a video on my phone and I can do it, but you guys are just going to have to search them out yourselves, and I'm sorry. Or if I see them, I will say there's an orb. Okay, but I might try it on my Adobe Premiere, but I don't know. I do know, but I don't know. Anyway, okay, so the first images and feelings I had, I was talking to somebody, didn't see him, but I knew there was somebody there. And it was like all of a sudden I felt movement in my stomach that was very strong. And I looked down and I'm saying, what? I'm pregnant? Because I have a hysterectomy. And in the dream, I knew this. I knew I had a hysterectomy. And I'm like, that's not right. So I'm taking it that symbolizes something, as in something new is coming or something questionable. I don't know. I had the baby. It was weird. I mean, it was early. I remember saying it was early, and I want to say it was 2 months early, and I gave birth to it, and it was a boy, and I left it there with the person or being I was talking to, knowing it was for them to take and raise, which was odd. Now here comes the part that was very lucid to me. The very next images that I seen was like home. And I was telling Giuseppe about it today, and I wanted to cry because it felt like me. It really felt like me more than this is like me. This just seems not normal to me, being here. But I was floating. I was upright like I was standing, but I was floating. And I remember there was a male. He was not human. And I'll tell you here in a second. he was seated, or it looked like he was, and he was communicating with me, and I assumed it was about the war we were in. It was like he was trying to give me a plan of this is what's going down, this is what's going to happen, etc., etc. I didn't hear his words, but I knew what he was talking about. And as I was watching, we both made serious eye contact. And I know this because I was really looking at his eyes because they were beautiful. But as I was floating, and the reason why I know I was floating is because I was swaying. And the reason why I knew I was swaying is because my surroundings were swaying, I guess. But when I was looking at him, I would sway to the right, and a light from behind me would shine in his eyes. And they would just like brighten up. They were brown with white specks in them. A part of me wants to say they were mechanical. I don't know why I feel that way. But whenever I would sway to the right, the light would go in his eye again. And I remember sitting there thinking, his eyes are beautiful. And they weren't like any brown eyes you ever see here. But I do know there were white specks in there, without a doubt. And I just kept going back and forth, back and forth. And there was some point, I don't know what side it would be on, that I had a light reflecting on me. And the reason why is because I seen it. And you know how you kind of sit in a window or something and that you can see the sun coming in your peripherals, but you can see it like kind of through your eye, if that makes sense? That's what I was getting. And I come to the knowing that my mind was creating my sway. And when he got done talking, I was still looking at him, and our eye contact was serious. It was an eye contact that you're supposed to have here. It was authoritative. It was like, hey, I'm listening to what you got to say. This is serious, and I'm not blinking until you're done, kind of thing. And when he finished, I heard myself say in a firm, female, authoritative voice say, "You have beautiful eyes." And then I turned and started floating off down a hall. And then when I turned and started going, I seen him jump up, and he was like, wait. And it was, my first thought was, he's like a little kid, or I thought it was funny or something like that, that he jumped up when I said he had beautiful eyes and started following me. So we go down this very small corridor, and it was like we entered this room at the exact correct time we should have entered. And I'm assuming I knew this. It was time to go down the hall and get busy. And then here's where things got hairy, if you want to say, is as soon as I entered, I turned to my left, and there were two beings, pretty big beings, that had a young girl, and they had each of her arms, and that, like they were dragging her, and she looked scared. I'm going to describe this now, the next scene. I'm going to kind of like paint a picture for you so you can understand. Okay, now I know I'm talking to you in my human form, but my soul, you're not supposed to hear your soul, but some of us do. But when I caught them, I started like screaming, but it was like a sound I've never heard. And then I got an image of myself, and it was like I was looking in third person on my side, and it was like my hair was out. It was something like a Marvel movie. My hair was out, my face transformed, but my mouth was wide open, and I had my hands out like that, and everything was shaking. But the things that I didn't want to be shaking didn't, like the little girl. certain surroundings, and I'm assuming the man being that I was talking to. And I want to say there were a couple other entities with us, but I didn't see them. And then when I ran out of breath, I did it again. And then I remember saying, now they're going to know that I have to take a breath, so they're going to wait until I stop and then do something. And that's all I remember. But the first scream, I remember hearing me say, oh, that's new. I don't know. It was me. And that was my higher self. Does that make sense? It's like we switched. That was my higher self doing whatever, and my human self, was on the inside instead of reversed. But the minute I started like screaming, it wasn't like a shrill, high-pitched, girly scream. It was a sound I never heard. And it was like I was controlling it with my hands, you know? And the second time I did it too, it was more serious. And then I seen myself from the side again. And I'm sitting there thinking, wow, this is intense. But that's all I remember. I remember, I think those two beings let her go. And I'm assuming that somebody got the little girl. But after the second time, I don't know if me mentally saying they're going to wait for me to take a breath to start again, and then they're going to do something. Right after I thought that, I was waking up, and I do this a lot here lately. It's really different. I saw that orb with my eyes. So you'll see that orb. That was right in front of me, between me and my phone. But I saw it on the screen. So anyway, I woke up, and it was like I exhaled really soft through my mouth and slow, and I heard it with my ears. And I remember thinking that exhale was the best exhale I have ever done in my life. It was like, and I'm going to say this because I think this is what happened. When my soul came back, it was an exchange. It was an exchange of air, so to speak, I guess. One reason why I say that and how I know is, one, hypnosis and talking to people's higher selves, that the human body stays behind in the bed and it breathes. It does what it does to keep alive, while our soul leaves and goes to war. And that's where I was, to war, in case you missed that. And that was what is going on now, I should say, because we're fighting the bad guys. So another thing is, and I put this video out not too long ago, of me sleeping, and I had my Ring camera on with night vision. And as I was sleeping, a orb came from the ceiling down toward me, and I had my arm over my stomach, and underneath my arm lit up. You could see it on the camera. It lit up, and then the orb kind of went in, and then that was it. Everything, the light under my arm, everything was gone. And so I'm assuming that was my soul then coming back. I wake myself up a lot lately with that exhale that is like so soothing and so peaceful. And when I opened my eyes, I remembered everything. But when I got to work, I typed it up on Word real quick, and I got it for safekeeping. I'm starting my my book. Kong Lee got me a elephant notebook thing, and I'm going to put things like this that happened to me, except I'm folding that and putting it in there. My other one is channels that I get throughout the day that Mark sent me, and quotes also. So I don't think that was a dream. I can tell you with a fact it wasn't a dream. I can tell you that all of that actually happened. And I do know I do know that souls float. Your guides float. They don't walk. But yes, that happened. So I'm going to end this here because it's almost 20 minutes long. I have to upload it. I hope you guys are doing well. I wanted to talk about this because it was so exciting for me. Oh, by the way, when I was talking about it to Giuseppe, I felt like that place is where I belong, and I felt love there. I felt in control. I felt like this is who I am, without a doubt. And here I feel so out of place. I feel like I don't belong. I feel like I stick out like a sore thumb. You know, I could go on and on. It's nothing like what I dreamed of. I felt so authoritative, so sure of myself, not nervous, nothing. I was just ready. I was ready to start screaming, I guess. So I'm going to end this here. I love you guys tremendously, and I'm going to send you love, light, and peace. Bye.